Afternoon, folks. Here we are again. Early evening, sun's going down. Still managed to get a glimpse of it just before it goes. You see that? That's the absolute light from the sun. It's bouncing off of one mirror over there, bouncing onto this mirror, and bang, into there. Right? It's a bit windy. Right? This journey, when it started, the speed of light, started because I had numbers on the board and I ended up dividing the sun's diameter, the 1,390,000 kilometers, by the speed of light, and I got the number 4.6, which meant the sun takes 4.6 seconds to radiate its light, just the distance of its diameter. All right? This is how it all started for me. Look, 792 kilometers per second. And we divide that by the sun's diameter by the speed of light, and we'll get 4.6 seconds. 4.6 seconds for the sun. 1, 2, 3, 4.6 seconds to radiate its light the distance of its diameter. That is when I knew we were up against it, and I've been screaming ever since. There is a speed bump. A speed bump from when I first started this, and it's still here now. Speed bump between what is happening here, what is happening here, and what is happening here. Now, there is only one thing happening in these places. We have the sweet spot on planet Earth where people are positioned looking up at the moon that bloop, blonks itself right in front of the sun, blocks the sun. The sun ends up in line with the thing blocking its light, the shadow that it's casting, and the sweet spot on planet Earth that is always moving. Right? 2.08 degrees in 8 minutes and 20 seconds. There is no light delay. This kind of thing cannot happen with a light delay because it's a fluid. Everything is moving. Now, if there really were a light delay of 8 minutes and 20 seconds, the light source that launched those photons that took 8 minutes and 20 seconds to get there would not be there by the time the photons got there, because Earth is spinning. And in 8 minutes and 20 seconds, it's 2.08 degrees. Why is the thing that launched the photons 8 minutes and 20 seconds ago still behind the thing that its photons are hitting that's 8 minutes and 20 seconds away? Why is it still directly behind it? Listen, about common sense. I always say it, and it is. When I first started doing this, most of the comments were coming from the foot soldiers. The people that know but don't know. A majority. They're screaming, shout, but when you ask them any question, where did they go? And you've got like the cavalry. They come, know a little bit more, put up more of a fight, but still, the speed bump, it's too much for them. And then the armoured brigade. I think we have the armoured brigade here now. I can tell by the messages, the paragraphs, the punctuation, the grammar. Teachers probably. Teachers, people with degrees, PhDs, bachelors, university degrees. Now, it doesn't matter what you guys say to me, right? I'm not a fool. I'm not going to fall for the crap. I'm not going to fall for the photon thing, because it isn't a thing. the methods being claimed from Galileo onwards are absurdities. They're absurdities. Now, I have a logical mind. You'd think that the people teaching the children would have logical minds as well, but they obviously haven't, because somehow this has slipped through the net, and it's a big one, isn't it? Because it props so many other things up, right? The speed bump remains. It was there at the beginning. Every single attempt anybody has ever given me, right, for finite light, it's, oh, what was that? There's always a little bit in there that doesn't make sense. Now, look, it's obvious, right? But now that we've arrived where the people who have a bit more invested in this absurdity are commenting, let's do it. But don't bring up GPS and other stuff, because that nullifies it all. Don't bring up methods. People who have measured time, lasers in garages, and have blue slugs that they call light crawling through bottles, because it doesn't mean anything because of the solar eclipse. Can you see what I'm saying? It means this is obvious, so they must be lies, isn't it? I'm not a fool, right? I'm not on your paycheck, so why would I suddenly go, oh, there is the delay, when there isn't one? It's a tragedy to think that there are people who think this is logical and they are teaching it on to the next generation. That's the worry, because it is illogical. It means dumping one's common sense to believe it. You have to dump your common sense to believe there is an 8-minute and 20-second photon section in between the sun and the moon during a solar eclipse. There isn't. There can't be. Sweet spot, moon shadow, the moon, and you can see the sun's corona around the moon. Baily's beads, when the moon is just getting into that perfect solar eclipse position, in that few seconds, you can see the mountainous terrain of the moon with the sun as the backdrop. And then, solar eclipse time. Give me a break, guys. Maybe, just maybe, you should look at yourselves and say, is it right to be teaching kids something so highly logical? Because it isn't, right? The speed bump remains. With absolute light, it's a breeze. It's simple. It's obvious. Whoosh, whoosh. Stars are in the sky, exactly where they seem to be. No such thing as a light year. Big Bang, bollocks. That's kind of it for now, right? That's kind of it. There's nothing more to say. I will be back later. Good chance I'll be back later with some more of the good stuff, the real stuff. But folks, 4.6 seconds for my sun to radiate its own light the distance of its own diameter. No, it doesn't. Absolute light. The bigger, more powerful the light source, the further. Had to go eventually. Oh no, it was already gone, that's why it's got tape on it. The further it will radiate its light at absolute speed. If you cannot see the light source from the onset when it turns on, you're out of range, that's it. It's not coming the day after tomorrow because it's 2 light days away. That's rubbish. And we know because of the solar eclipse. I will be back later on this afternoon, well, later on this evening, and we will, look at something else. Later, peeps.